This is Lori here. I'm back. It's about 6:10. I am here to start my reading vlog for Halloween week 2020. My goal for Halloween week 2020 is to tackle quite a few spooky reads and to watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I might also watch like Hocus Pocus. I'm going to do a lot of creepy TV watching and creepy reading. I am going to start these books tomorrow because tonight I'm still in the middle of another reading log, but I want to kind of chat through them. The one thing I'm going to start with is Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. And this has to do with a girl named Saoirse. And she's planning on being the queen's next royal spy. But when her best friend is killed, she has to kind of go on an adventure to save her. I think it involves necromancy. There's a Spider King. It sounds perfect. I really love creepy reads, and creepy forests are like one of my favorite things. So I'm really excited to dive into this one. And I'm definitely going to tackle this one first. But Forest of Souls is definitely the first one on my list. Oops, sorry. I was maybe thinking it had like a cool jacket. I also do have a second book of this. I accidentally bought like two of them accidentally from Amazon. So it's possible I might do a giveaway at the end of this week as like maybe a November giveaway and I haven't done giveaways since COVID started, but it's possible that I might do one for this one because now I am going to have two copies of this. The next one I really do want to read is Deck of Ohms by Christina Lynn Herman. I got this in April and I was waiting for a spooky season. This is the sequel to Devouring Grey, and I reread that earlier this year in prep to read this, and I never got around to reading it. So these are my two priority reads that I would love to tackle this week. I'm also still listening to Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I'm really going to make that my priority tomorrow just to listen to it on all my commutes so I can make some progress. But you know me, I'm kind of a glutton for punishment, so I have a couple of more creepy reads that I would love to tackle this week. One of them is Born at Midnight by C.C. Hunter. This is a Shadows Fall novel, and it reminds me a lot of the concept behind Legacies, the TV show. It's a summer camp where werewolves, shapeshifters, witches, and fairies train side by side, and I am missing my Shadowhunter gang so much, and I hope that this will kind of be a similar like read and one that I pick up, and it's like a 5-book series. So if I like it, I will definitely add that to my reading list for the winter. Ghostwood Song is another one that I picked up at ALA, and this is Saw Kill Girls Meet Beautiful Creatures in this lush, eerie debut where boundary between reality and nightmare is as thin as the veil between living and dead. And I know this has to do with a girl who can inherit her father's ability to call ghosts from the graves, and when her brother is accused of murder, she needs to use her power to protect him. So this cover is very, very pretty as well. And Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova. She writes a lot of like witch books. I don't know much about this. This was the Owl Crate edition, and I did get I actually had an arc from ALA last year. New York City Comic Con last year. But yeah, these are the books I hope to tackle. I am also going to do some spooky TV watching. That is another thing that I am going to do. But first things first, I am going to start Forest of Souls tomorrow. Take this as a backup book, and I will also listen to my audiobook, which is Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow and let you guys know how much progress I've made, and I will talk to you guys soon. I'm back. It is 4:32 on October 26th. It is getting into creepy week or Halloween week. So, two things. I did wind up starting Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. I'm now on page... Ooh, what page am I on? Page 54. I actually didn't get to finish my chapter, which is what I normally do. But really liking this book. It follows this girl named Saoirse, I think, and she's basically training to be a queen, the queen's assassin, and she's also has a couple of other jobs. Like she works as like I think she kind of works as like she works like as a soldier, like a foot soldier, until she gets this promotion. She has a best friend, and they kind of go on this like I guess this adventure somewhere, and something goes horribly wrong. Something goes horribly wrong, and they are basically her best friend is killed, and she has to kind of go about to use necromancy to save her life. The world is really, really interesting. I love it, but I'll tell you the one thing I really love about this book They have, and I've never ever seen this before. Books do glossaries all the time, but I've never, and I read a lot of books, I've never seen a glossary in the front of the book in my life. Because they always do it at the back, and then by the time I get to the back, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's a glossary, I could have used it. So ingenious to do it in the front of the book. I highly recommend other publishers take note and do that because I've been flipping back and forth to it like a lot. So very, very helpful. I'm in a part where like I am unsure what the character knows. But there it was very, very fast paced. I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm only like 54 pages in. I'm definitely gonna make some reading progress on this tonight when I'm done with yoga and my other little things and eating dinner. But I also have about let me see. I think I have about like 40 minutes left in Don't Look Back, my audiobook, which I'm at the tail end of. I think I remember how this book ends because it is a reread for me, but I don't remember. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. It is almost 5 o'clock. I did get home. I wound up eating. I'm going to still go work out, but I did want to do a little bit of an update. I did wind up starting Forest of Souls by Lori Emily. I've only got up to page like 54, so really not a big reading day. But it is definitely a higher fantasy, so I do need to focus on it a little bit more. It definitely involves a spooky forest, there's some necromancy, there's a strong girl, there's assassins, all of my favorite tropes. I'm going to read a little bit more to feel like before I give you guys like my full thoughts, because I do feel like I'm missing a couple of things. Like some things were said in the summary, but I don't know if the characters know that yet at this part of the book, so I just want to kind of like wait until I know that, because it seems like there's some confusion about a few things right now between these characters. But I did want to point something out, and I hope more publishers do this. Publishers do glossaries all the time in books, but I've never seen it in the front of a book, and I think that that's really helpful, because by the time I get to the end of the book, I like don't care about the terms anymore, but like just to have it at the front to know that it's there was super helpful and super simplistic, so I really, really like that. I also have about 20 to 30 minutes left in my audiobook, Don't Look Back by Jennifer Armentrout. I'm right at the crux of it, right at like the good part. So I'm going to probably listen to that as I work out. And then I'll come back and I'll kind of wrap up that book if I'm able to finish it. And then I'm going to probably go dive into Forest of Souls, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to go do those little things, and then I'll come back and I'll check in with you guys. Bye. Here, just checking back in. I just wanted to say that I did want to reading up to page 81 in Forest of Souls by Lori Emily. Really liking this book. I think it's a very, very darker story. I will say, don't read the summary if you don't want to be spoiled about a plot point that doesn't happen like 81 pages in. But I love that this book is focused on it's focused on a female friendship. I like that there's an assassin element. We also have a prince character, which I always love. I especially love prince characters that have a connection with the main character in some way, like mostly like childhood themed. Really liking that. And I think this book is about to heat up dramatically. There's also been some magic-y stuff that's happened. I think she's also doing very good with the world building. She's really laying it out super easy. And as I said in my previous clip, there was also a lovely glossary at the start of the book, which is so easy to reference if needed. But my goal is to read up to page like about 100. I have to watch another video, like a true crime creepy video for Halloween. And then I think I'm just going to kind of dive in and watch Sabrina. So that's kind of my plans. I'll update you guys when I'm done reading for the night. But I really am liking her writing style. She's very, very easy to read, but also very, very spooky. I like the setting a lot. So talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey, it's Laura here. I'm back. It's 8:09. I just wound up reading up to page 94 in Forest of Souls by Lori Emily. I do want to give you a bit of a summary. So you basically follow this girl named Saoirse, and she is hoping to be the queen's assassin, and she is training. She's also involved in a military-like community that she has been in with her best friend. But when her and her best friends go on a very, very misadvised adventure, her best friend winds up getting killed. During that exchange, something happens, and she can basically bring her best friend back to life. So that is what we're happening now. And then they have to go on an adventure to meet the Spider King. And I think that once that happens, the book is going to get super interesting. They have to go into the Dark Woods, which is where the Spider King lives. So one thing I do like about this book is that it has a very strong connection between the two girls, Saoirse and her best friend. I like that. I like that she's going to have to save her best friend. I like books that have two strong characters. And again, I like this book because they still have a relationship, even though she's in this kind of like that she's kind of in this state. They still have a relationship, and normally when this happens, I mean, it may change throughout the book, like they're not themselves anymore, or they become sort of like a figment of their like thing. So it's super interesting that they still have a relationship. I'm really liking it. I'm definitely reading a little bit slower. It's definitely like a slow, like I have to really focus on it when I'm reading it, but super enjoyable. So I'm actually going to go watch a little bit of Sabrina before I turn in for the night. I'll probably watch a couple of episodes. I said that this was going to be a creepy reading vlog. So if I remember before I go to bed, I'll update you guys. I think I'm on episode 4 of Sabrina, so 3 or 4. I'm giving it another watch because I tried to watch it a couple of times and failed. But I'm gonna give it another try. So I'm gonna go watch my episodes and I'll check in with you guys either before I go to bed or tomorrow when I come home from work. Bye. Here, I'm back. It's about 4:30. I just got home. I still have to do my workout and stuff. But I did want to brizz listening to a whole episode of a MuggleCast and also Fandom Buzz, which is Alexa and Mackie's spoiler-filled podcast. I'm really enjoying that podcast. With everything that I'm normally listening to, especially in the lead up to election day, it is a nice break to just listen to them talk about some books, some anime, some other things. And the Harry Potter episode I listened to was one about your biggest like pet peeve about the series or your controversial opinions. And I also love them as a host trio as well. So very, very fun listening. But I also did wind up getting up to page about 160 in Forest of Souls by Lori Emily. Really liking this book. It definitely has like an eerie vibe, which is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm really liking it, but it's, it has some of my favorite things. I love a quest element. I love a character that kind of gets powers that they weren't necessarily expecting. I love complex world building. I love strong female characters and female friendship at the heart of novels. This book is so funny when I'm reading it because I'm also reading it when I'm watching Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and they have an element in this book that is mirrored in that show, which is really, really cool. But it definitely went the way I thought. I would say, like, avoid reading spoilers, but I think that the spoilers are how you pitch the book. So basically, this is on the front flap, so I'm not giving that much away. But basically, she and her friend are on an adventure. Her friend dies, and she winds up bringing her friend back to life. And they wind up being intrinsically connected in some capacity. And and due to that happening and what happened to her friend, she winds up waking up this forest. And now she has to go about to try to put the forest back to bed and kind of gain control over her powers. But it actually expands it a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that both characters want to do, which I'm really, really liking. It's a very, very, it's a read that I really need to like focus on when I read it. I really can't have any background noise going on, which is how I normally read. But it's definitely a book that I really need to focus on. So I might put on like not some new stuff, like some true crime videos that I've watched before, because I just really need to focus on it instead of having something I'm listening to. But also, This Is Us is coming back tonight, which I have been waiting so long for. It's the first show to come back since the pandemic, and they actually fought to put it on early, so it was out before election day, which I'm curious to see why that has to happen. So I think I'm gonna probably watch that live tonight. But yeah, so I'm gonna go eat, I'm gonna go work out, and then I'll probably update you guys and see what time it is. I would love to read like another 150 pages of this before the end of the evening. We will see if that happens, but that is the plan, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Right here, I'm back. It's about 6:41. I did wind up reading up to page 170 in Forest of Souls. I came in at the middle of a chapter, so I need to read a couple of chapters before I'm back in the world. But I'm really enjoying it. I love how the woods is really like a setting. I love that this book is really complicated. It has some of my favorite tropes. I really like the friendship dynamics between Saoirse and her friend. I think that that's something that whenever you see like about someone saving someone, they don't really ever have that relationship. That person is either lost or they're dead or something has happened to them that makes sure that person needs saving. But it's very different in this book, and I'm kind of liking that because I feel like you get to know these characters so much more. And it's, you know, it's you feel a lot more connected to the characters in this way. In addition to Saoirse, you also feel connected to her friend, her sister that she loves. So I'm really enjoying that. I think the world is so fascinating, and I really can't wait to see what happens. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. It's Lori here. I'm back. I did wind up actually reading up to page 203 in Forest of Souls. A lot happened in that 50 pages. A lot of stuff happened, like a lot of like plot stuff that I'm really intrigued by. But I am going to watch This Is Us tonight. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break because it's a 2-hour premiere and I normally read during commercial break. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm really enjoying it. I love the forest as a setting. I really love the characters. We're also expanding our character pool, and I've said this before in a couple of other books. I like books that have a good amount of characters. I don't like books that are like a small group of characters because I think it's hard to connect to them, and I think like bigger groups are better, but then you don't want too many characters. So I think this book has a good balance, and it also has a lot of strong female characters, which I also really like. I read a couple of fantasy books recently that they were actually had a lot of male characters, which is fine, but I just felt like the book wasn't balanced well. So I'm gonna take like an hour break before I start This Is Us. It's been a while since I watched This Is Us, and I know that the creators of This Is Us were really adamant that this show had to come out before Election Day. And it's the first pandemic show that's actually returned to TV, so I like to support that. So I'm gonna watch that. I don't know if I'm going to update you because it's a 2-hour premiere and I have to go to bed directly after that. But I will definitely update you guys tomorrow about it. I should be able to read another 100 pages before I get home from work, and then I only have 100 pages left. But I'm really, really liking it. So my goal is before tonight, I hope to read like another like 50 pages. That's my goal. We'll see. But just want to know, I'm really liking Forest of Souls. I think it was a perfect read to pick up during this creepy season. The clocks go back this week. So yeah, I'm hopeful to read a couple of more this week before we head into November. I really want to get Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco as well, but I will have to go shopping for that, and I don't think that's going to happen this week, but it might. So, all right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow for another update on Forest of Souls, and if I start listening to anything, I'll definitely let you guys know. Bye. Here I'm back at 6:01. I did wind up eating dinner. I wound up working out. I did actually wind up reading up to page 278 in Forest of Souls by Lori Emily. I'm really enjoying this book. This book is super creepy, like very, very creepy. I am not, I don't like to be scared. This is like eerie creepy though, and I'm almost okay with it. It's also a super complicated world. There's literally really, really fun characters. There's unexpected plot twists that I'm really, really enjoying. So I have about 120 pages left. So I'm going to try to read more tonight. I'm going to try to that's going to be my goal, to read a little bit more. I do have 2 longer true crime videos to watch. I do definitely want to watch an episode of Sabrina last night. Last night I wound up watching This Is Us, which is one of my favorite shows on TV, and I just loved what they did for their season opener. I can tell why they wanted to put it out before the election. I thought it was great. Super well done. So if you have not checked out This Is Us, you might have to catch up a little bit, but definitely worth a watch. It's a super well crafted show. So I'm gonna go read, and when I get up to page 300, I'll probably update you guys. I hate reading and not finishing a chapter, so I've definitely been reading less this week for work, because whenever I almost get to my train stop, I kind of stop because I hate stopping in a middle of a chapter. So I'm gonna go read a little bit more, and I'll update you guys when I read to the next 300-ish pages mark, and I'll give you guys my thoughts. Bye. Lori here. I did wind up reading up to page 303 in Forest of Souls. I have about 100 pages left. I'm really liking the world. I'm really liking the characters. I think it's a very complicated story. I think it's very, very eerie and creepy, and it's not horror though, and that's what I like. I think the world building is really interesting. I like how she's kind of turned a certain trope on its head. It's definitely not a romance heavy book, at least right now. There's 2 potentialities for romance in the future for the lead character, but it definitely more focuses on friendship, and I'm actually perfectly okay with that, I'll be honest. Especially first book in a series, I tend to like it to focus on world building and just character relationships. And subsequent book in the series, if romance does develop, that is fine. So I'm actually perfectly okay with that, but if you're looking for a romance read, this is just not the story for you. But overall, I'm really loving the world, really loving the characters. I think it's a perfect eerie read. And I'm going to go read about 50 more pages, and then I'll give you guys another quick update. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. I just want to say that I did wind up finishing Forest of Souls. Sorry, my cover's over there, and I'm being a little bit lazy. But I did wind up really liking this book. I would wind up giving this book 4 stars for review. I thought the world was super fun. I thought the characters were great. It didn't have a big romance present. The atmosphere was perfect. Though the ending was a little bit like rushed and a little bit confusing at points, but I really wound up liking it. Like, strongly wound up liking it. Wound up giving it a 4-star read. I thought it was the perfect mix of creepy but not scary, which I've said before. I don't like scary books. They creep me out, and I really don't look forward to them. But I am going to start Deck of Ohms by Christina Lynn Herman. And the reason I'm going to start it... Oh, I just ruined my thing. The reason I'm going to start it is because it is a sequel. I reread The Devouring Grey early during quarantine, and I wound up really, really liking it. So I feel like I'm in pretty good to start it. And then after that, I'm going to read Born at Midnight. And these are going to be my books for the rest of the week that I hope to tackle. I am going to start Deck of Ohms now. It's about 8:38, so I'd like to get like another half an hour in before I go watch Sabrina. But I want to give you guys my thoughts as I start it. This book also has such pretty illustrations in it. And I feel like because I recently read that book, I'll be able to like give you guys my thoughts of how I'm feeling. But yeah, so I'm gonna go start Deck of Ohms, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. It's Lori here. It's 9:01. I just wound up reading the first chapter of the Deck of Ohms, and I think I'm really gonna like this book. I am so missing Stranger Things. It was in the middle of filming during the pandemic, and I don't think it ever got back to filming, but I love this book series, the first book that I read, and I just read the first chapter. So yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm not going to tell you too much about it. When I talk to you guys tomorrow, I will have read a bit more, and we can like chat through it a little bit more. But I am so far really, really liking being back in the world. One thing I remember really liking about this book was the characters. And I thought the magic system was super unique and super different. It had like a Buffy vibe, but also like a Stranger Things vibe. And I liked that the characters were really unique and really different, and there was a lot of representation in it. It was a really, really fun read, and I really am excited to read this book. But yeah, so I will check in with you guys tomorrow when I come home from work. And yeah, bye guys. I'm back. I'm back to do my here I'm back. I actually just got home from work. I did my Owl Crate unboxing for the Addie LaRue box, which I am in love with. I will be posting that video in early November, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, so I did this morning. I did end up starting the Deck of Ohms by Christina Lynn Herman. I didn't have my book jacket on this last night. I am really loving floating back in this world. But basically, a little bit of a summary is you follow these 5 teens. You follow May, Isaac, Violet, and Harper. And they are all in this town named Four Towns, and their families all founded this town. Due to that, they all have powers that help them fight the Grey, which is sort of like a place that they go. There's like a creature there. And the first book followed Violet as she returned home for the first time with her mother and realized she is not as normal as she thought. I really loved the first book. I thought the dynamics between the teens were super interesting and super unique. I really love that romance wasn't at the forefront of this novel at all. There was a lot of LGBTQ representation in it in really like unexpected ways. Which is a very, very eerie and creepy read. This is the perfect time to read it. The end of the book was definitely a surprising twist, I will say that. So now I'm like diving into the second book. I'm on page 57, so I actually got a little bit of reading done today. I'm definitely going to read more because I really just don't want to put this book down. I'm super invested in it and the characters, but I wanted to put my jacket on so I could take Instagram photos of it and feature some of the Stranger Things funkos that I have. But yeah, so I did wind up reading about 57 pages. Yesterday I did finish Forest of the Souls, which by Lori Emily, which I also ended up really, really liking. And then I wound up watching an episode of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which was like the worst episode to watch because it involved nightmares and I was about to go to bed. Really good show. I'm really liking that show. I'm really glad that I pushed past the first couple episodes and like actually started watching it again and picked up the tie-in novel that Sarah Reese Brennan wrote because I thought it was so helped in my enjoyment level of that. So I'm going to go eat, and then I'm probably going to go work out, and then I'm going to come back in and I'll kind of when I read a little bit more. I'll give you guys my thoughts. But so far, really, really liking it. Happy to be back in the world. Definitely slow going. I reread Devouring Grey in like April last year, and I think I should have just dived into the Deck of Ohms. But at that point, I was reading a lot of contemporaries, and I just wasn't in the mood to read it. But this is a great time to read it. So I'm gonna go get some dinner, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. I did actually wind up getting up to a pretty good stopping place for the night. I have a little bit of a headache, which just happens when you wake up early and you commute. So I think I'm going to stop reading for the night. I got up to page 79, which is about page 80. I got up to part 2, which is called Three of Daggers. I think I'm at a really, really good ending spot for the night. We have seen where all of the spots that all the characters are in. We've kind of been reacquainted with how the last book ends. Still really, really enjoying it. I definitely think that this is a book I could probably tackle a lot of it tomorrow. I just have a small headache and I don't want to like push myself to read. I've been trying to get better at that. But tomorrow when I come home, I'm definitely going to do some filming and hopefully I won't have any work to do this weekend. I think grades are due next week. So I have like another week to kind of organize all that. But I think I might go watch a couple of episodes of Julie and the Phantoms and kind of end that show out. And then I might just pick up like a creepy movie or just something. I also might watch Sabrina. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll update you guys tomorrow when I come home from work and we will go through my weekend plans. I'm definitely going to vote this weekend. It's a big, big plan for me. Going out to vote. I hope you all are voting. You'll see this after Election Day, but I hope you guys are voting. And yeah, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow and let you guys know how much I read in Deck of Ohms. I'm also going to try to keep listening to the Michelle Obama, Becoming by Michelle Obama, which is the audiobook I have been trying to tackle for the past 2 months. But due to the podcast I have been frantically listening to be educated about the election and all that fun stuff, Michelle Obama's audiobook has fell at the wayside. And it's unfortunate because her husband's is coming out in November and I definitely want to listen to that as well. So I need to find some balance in my life. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Lori here. I'm back. It was the last week of day of work for the month of October. Tomorrow is Halloween. But I do have sort of a relaxing weekend planned. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go do all of my errandy stuff that I have to do. And I have to film like a few videos. I'll be honest, there's a few, like 3 videos back to back, which always happens at the end of the month. And I have to film another one just for the end of the year in general. But I'm going to go do that. And then I'm going to see like what time it is and if I want to wrap up this reading vlog or start a new one. We'll see. But I do have a lot of like spooky reading done this weekend because I kind of planned out a weekend to just read some creepy reads and kind of just stress before the election. So yeah, I'm going to go do that. I still really am liking Deck of Ohms. I read like I got page 150, I think. And I'm loving the Michelle Obama the Michelle Obama audiobook Becoming. I'm halfway through her childhood. So she's now in college where she's about to meet her husband, which I'm really excited to see about the campaign trail through her eyes, and I'm really excited to also check out her husband's book in November. But yeah, I'm going to go do my reading wrap-ups first, and then my blog stuff and my Instagram stuff, and then when I'm done with all my errandy stuff, I will check in with you guys. I have to do one thing for school, which is not a lot. Normally I have to do a lot more for school, but purposely plan to have a little bit of downtime this weekend. So I'm going to go do my errands, and I'll check in with you guys when I'm done with everything and check on to see what time it is. Bye, guys. Back last night, I didn't wind up doing anything. I just wound up watching some YouTube videos and just kind of relaxing. I was really, really tired when I was filming my YouTube videos. I filmed 3 YouTube videos back to back to back. Probably wasn't my best idea, but I did do it. So today I'm going to go vote. I'm so happy I'm going to be voting. I don't know how long it's going to take me because lines have been crazy on New York and Long Island. So I'm anticipating maybe an hour and a half wait, maybe even longer. But I always have a book with me, so I'll be fine. But I am going to go when I come home. I think I'm going to put on a Halloween movie and just do some Christmas crafting. And then I'm probably going to spend the rest of the day reading and watching Halloween movies. That's kind of my plan for the weekend. I'm going to watch a couple of my favorites and just kind of read in background noise. I have like Halloween Town and a couple of other ones that I just want to listen to this weekend. I'll probably watch a couple of episodes of Sabrina. What I think I'm going to do is when I come back, I think I'm going to like end this reading vlog and like start a new one. Just so I could have like a Halloween filmed reading vlog. We're going to hand out candy if we get any trick-or-treaters. I don't know, but I really am happy that I specifically planned to do no work this weekend. The only thing I did work-wise was yesterday. So I think I'm going to come home from voting, whenever that is, and I'll probably do like my last few errands. I still have to do my blog stuff and my Instagram stuff and post some videos and prep for next week for month for Instagram. So yeah, I'll do that stuff when I come home, and then after that I'm probably going to start a new reading blog. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Lori here, I'm back. I'm actually here to wrap up this reading vlog. I just wound up coming back from early voting. I am so happy that I did my civic duty and I voted. I finally, after like 8 years of voting, I have never got an I voted sticker. My polling place doesn't normally have them. So it seems like today just was a good day. It was a little bit cold, but it was like 40, we waited online for like 30 minutes and then we were able to vote. So it was not a bad experience, but I'm actually going to wrap up this reading vlog and kind of talk through what I wound up finishing. This week I wound up finishing Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. I actually really wound up liking this book. I wound up giving it 4 stars. I thought the concept was cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was like a super fun read, super engaging. I love the eerie setting. I really enjoyed the characters as well. And this was a 4-star read. I also made a little bit of reading progress on Becoming by Michelle Obama. She has finally got closer to meeting Barack Obama. But I also read about 150 pages in The Deck of Ohms by Christina Lynn Herman. This is the sequel to The Devouring Grey, and I wound up really enjoying this one as well. I'm going to talk about this more in my creepy reading vlog that I'm going to do this weekend, so be sure to go check me out in that one when that one goes up. But I will talk to you guys from my next reading vlog hopefully soon. Bye, guys!